starting. We are now live. So, welcome everyone. We've not done a little live stream over on YouTube for a while, so me and Richie thought we'd hang it out. A few things to cover, Richie. Anything just to starters you want to cover off tonight?
Yeah, mate, it's a few things to cover. Obviously, I think the big one is the black event that went down. Cover some main points on that. I really want to give some people a bit more of a, before I do the full review, just some of the peak features of the Agilite helmet bridge, because that thing is an awesome bit of kit. I found a nice little before I do the full review on it tonight. The peak features of the Agilite. So yeah, I'm that, mate. Really just kit prep for Care Went next week, I think, mate.
Nice.
Yeah, how about you?
I wouldn't mind talking about this very briefly. This is the MTR from Tokyo Marui. Nice. So I wouldn't mind having a bit of a gas about this. There's a few things about it I really, really like. And there's a couple of bits on it that not necessarily I don't like. It's more of the fact that I'm very used to a platform that has like other parts and a slightly different layout. But I wouldn't mind having a bit of a breeze about this. And then also, if I can reach it, I do want to have a little talk about the optic that's on top of here, the Razer HD Gen 2. It's a fancy bit of kit, and I've just been trying to sort of justify, is it worth it? And obviously having a chat with you, so wouldn't mind me getting some people's opinions on that, and on the gun build and so on and so forth as well. So there's a few things I want to cover. Just going to see over on the page what's going on.
JJ, what's happening? My Brander, welcome along, guys. Brad. Yeah, it's interesting, mate, because obviously, a bit like JJ says there, you know, you've been on SCAR platforms for what, almost full on a year now, I'm going to say. Since you got with your 416.
Maybe a year and a bit where I've just not used anything else.
No, literally nothing else, no other platform. No. Your MP7 is a new edition, right?
Yeah, the MP7's new. It's just I haven't really like ran it out properly. The only real time I've got good grips on the MP7 is when we went to Copil, and I was carrying around the SCAR Heavy, and that was, you know, that was the dying death of the SCAR Heavy that day with the short dot and everything on it. It was too bulky.
Yeah.
And I went down to the MP7 for the day and just absolutely loved it. And the thing tore as well. It performed so well the whole day. No stoppages, no issues. And to be honest, the range that I was getting was outranging a few of the boys' other guns. Do you know what I mean? They were running. I don't think they were running pimp TMs as they are now, but some of the other guys, it was definitely ranging out.
Yeah, I definitely think that I think, you know, I run the MP7 for a full weekend. Not a weekend, sorry, a full night when I was at Catterick last time. Sorry, time before last. And yeah, it's such a huge difference, mate, when you bring that whole platform size from maybe something like this all the way down. It's lighter, it's more maneuverable, and also you're not getting fatigued as well through the night. So it's a nice little break. But that being said, mate, obviously I was literally just today, obviously landed back from Austria this morning, and I've just been setting about my MP7 because, again, I've got a brand new one courtesy of the guys over at Camo Race, Camo Customs. They hooked us up with a new MP7, just purely because my original MP7 had worn out. That was it. It wasn't, you know, just worn out. You know, after 5-6 years, it's done pretty well. So yeah, mate, I've really just been dressing that up, getting to grips with that. It's turned out pretty nice, to be fair.
Let's have a look.
Obviously, I've put the Razer, the UH1 on top, which is absolutely lovely. Again, takes literally seconds to zero this. When I say zero, I mean Airsoft zero, so you know it's going to be somewhere near. I actually pushed the Haley Thorntail as well off my SCAR Heavy onto this.
Let's have a look. Yeah, I like that.
That sits quite nice under the pec, flush with the rail, but again, just a little bit forward. So as you get your light, whether it's white light or IR, you should get minimal splash off this suppressor as it sort of bounces off of it. Again, because it's a little bit higher, you can't quite get your thumb to it. So I've just put the tape switch on the other side here. So yeah, feels pretty comfy, mate. Again, on red gas, I was putting 3.2s flat as anything. I don't know the distance. I didn't really check the distance, but it was getting out there, you know. So yeah, super happy with that. Super happy,
mate. To be honest, it looks slick. I mean, those Thorntails, if you can get them in the right spot, they just work. They look so good. And obviously, if you're swapping hands, it means that like the top of your bridge of your thumb, if you swap to your left hand, for example, isn't going to be pressed against the bottom of the torch.
Yeah.
So like when you're like that, do you know what I mean? Your hand's underneath there.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes you get the bottom of that tail light just tucked into the bottom side.
Just a quick one, mate. With that torch that you've got it there, like I used to have exactly the same setup with the thumb push on the right. When you swap, do you just use your thumb left when you swap from right shoulder to left shoulder? So
yeah, when I obviously like this predominantly, and I'll do what you were saying there. I'll just run my hand under, and I'll sort of use I try and use the tip of my thumb so that I've got a little bit more sense of the pressure, because when you push like that, you're really relying on the thickness of the glove and the pad of your thumb. So I try and go in like this, with almost like my nail, to whack that on and off. So right, and then I hook my fingers around the front here. Hopefully you can see that okay. Just to give me something to lever off. When I go for that transition, I do the same thing. So my finger, index finger, hooks around the front, and then I use the tip of my thumb there. Yeah. Like that. So my hand has still got full grip of the gun. Do you know what? I love left-handed on this. It just feels so natural. It's really weird. Yeah. My thumb runs over the top of the light, so I've got really, really good grip. And then I can use that kind of point underneath if I need to. Yeah, I think the because that razor on top of that, mate, does look absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. For some reason I seem to have frozen up. I'll try to alleviate some of that. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one because, you know, when you've got the actual pressure switch itself with a thumb, I do like to use a thumb, but obviously with the pressure switch I've got now, kind of, I can run. The idea is obviously this side here. That would be my obviously like being a righty. That would be the sort of standard way. I'm guessing this way. Who knows, mate? I might have to figure that out. I don't know yet. With that being said, it's such a small platform, mate. I could probably run here or here. Do you know what I mean? So still keep the right hand there. Just swap the shoulders, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you're technically just still keeping your hands in the same position, but yeah, you can just, you know, there's not a great deal of difference there. Again, it's a new setup, so it will take some practice to get used to. Just drilling that. So I think one of the things that we both wanted to have a bit of a chat about, I'm just cautious that everyone can hear us, and we haven't done one of these live streams on Hangouts before, and I've just read that it's being phased out on the 1st of August. So it gets phased out, this feature, tomorrow, which is a real shame. It's the first time we get to use it. That's handy, isn't it? The black event then, Richie. I'm obviously keen to hear your take. Me and you always seem to, we do a lot of events, things together, and we always seem to have like 95% aligned, and then 5%, 10% we're slightly different on our views, but really keen for you to sort of give us your view on your thoughts on the day and the people and what we covered. Yeah, I mean, just to kick off, first of all, mate, I had a good friend of mine from many years ago message me
saying, "Oh, the black event sounds like it went really well." Just to let you know, we were putting on events 3 years ago or something or rather, similar to this. And then obviously it was only a friendly poke, but I did have to remind him that myself and Jim from Platoon Stores were putting on events similar to what we're doing, you know, where you're training, not necessarily shooters boards and, you know, sort of stuff like this, but real basic weapons manipulation, sling points, you know, slings, kit placement, back in, I'm going to say 2012, mate. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite funny when people, how quickly people go, well, we've already done this. But yeah, well, we've, you know, I've been doing this a long time. So really off the bat, I think the thing that's, first of all, I thought it went really well. It went really well. Yes, we was hampered by the weather, you know, absolutely chucked it down while me and you were setting up early hours, like, you know, 6 o'clock onwards. And it is a long day, but you know, the rain stopped just in time as guys were sort of getting out there, getting their kit on and sort of starting to push out. So that was handy. Yeah, I thought it went really well. The thing that stuck out for me the most, I'm going to say, is how quickly people's skill set evolved through the day. You know, guys were sort of making, I don't want to say mistakes because it's not a mistake, but it's, you know, they weren't as efficient as they could be. So literally with a couple of little pointers and, you know, with us saying, why don't you try this way? Why don't you try, you know, holding it here, moving this, moving that. And what I also like, mate, was there was no egos. You know, people, we spoke to people and said, you know, why don't you try this? If you don't want to try it, it's absolutely fine, because let's face it, that's what the event's about, and I'll let you cover that in a minute. But yeah, you know, people were taking stuff on board, not taking offence to it, and just trying it and running it, and found out that, yeah, you know, it's actually really efficient doing it this way. So yeah, how guys progressed from in just a couple of hours, mate, in the morning was absolutely immense. Really good.
Yeah, I think, you know, what, like you say, I was definitely worried about it. And the night before and a couple of nights leading up to it, I was just a little bit nervous about how the day would go and how it'd be perceived. You know, we put out a little while ago that we were both interested in doing this, and we're hit with a few bits of feedback that just unnerved me a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish then I had the confidence to just feel how I feel now, about, you know, not needing the background of other trainers and other people that provide training just to be able to provide training. It sounds really silly, but I just wish I had that bit of confidence then to kind of maybe push back a bit. But after doing this event, and from the feedback and the type of people that were there, you know, we had guys that served some real long periods, long stints, right? And they learned a lot. And you had young lads there that probably had better drills than anyone else on the day, and they're kind of, you know, fresh out of school, you know, age-wise. So I think there's a real varied bunch, and I think that the feedback we've had is, anyone that's on Instagram, you know, I pushed a lot of the feedback out because I wanted people to see what was being said, and I'm glad that we delivered something that people were happy with. Like, that was the main thing that we wanted to do. We wanted people to learn, but we also wanted people to have a really good day. And there was a really good energy from everyone that was there. Even for the stuff like, there was a big puddle on the site. Anyone that was here, they were in the chat that was there. There was a big puddle on site, and it was in front of one of the shooters boards. And people just steamed through it, got to the boards with absolute urgency. We're putting rounds down, we're pushing really hard, even when they were struggling. They persisted and pushed through, and at the end of it, everyone was smiling and had a really good day and left with a lot to think about. And that was really what I wanted from the day. That was the kind of the hit home. Do you know what I mean? We've always said, this isn't a financial thing for us. It was to do something to play back and you know, have some people around us that supported the channel for a long time, and also that we don't get to see socially. So yeah, I think, you know, for me, really good. I think I'm glad that we've kind of stepped over that kind of, I don't know, kind of maybe my anxiety of doing the event. I think now we've sort of surpassed that, and we're into a position where we had a really good event, had some great feedback, and we just build on it. You know, we build
Yeah, I
on it
think,
going forward.
like I say, it was, and for us, I think it was really good. I don't know if I don't know if it was the fact that we had guys there that, you know, that supported the channel, so they may be a little bit biased. I don't know, but there were guys there that really got it. Do you know what I mean? Understood how we were running the day and why we were running the day. Like, you know, we stood out front and we said from the word go, you know, we're not here to, you know, claim to be ex-special forces instructors, have done this, have done that. You know, we're just a couple of guys who over many years have refined techniques, you know, and taken advice from people from different branches, whether that's, you know, ex-Hereford, whether that's Met Firearms, you know, we've taken bits and pieces from everyone and put it together in one sort of arena. Do you know what I mean? But it's the fact that guys took it on board without, you know, and knew that we were there to sort of point people in the right direction, but we're never going to stand out front and say, this is how you do it. You know, because one of the big things we said on the day was you have to use and work what works for you. You know, you have to find a system that suits you. You know, it's no good. It's like I say, like, you know, finding a system that someone does online and going, right, I have to do it this way, because if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work. You know. So yeah, it was good that guys sort of had that attitude.
I think we saw that on the day when I was talking to someone along the line. I can't honestly remember who it was. We were talking to a lot of people, and they said, "Oh, you know," I said, "You know, how have you set your kit up?" And they said, "Oh, I saw this kit online, and I kind of followed that. Right? I thought, you know, this soft dude or whoever it was, right, you know, is running this particular type of kit. So because he runs it well that way, I set mine up the same, right? And it was traditional. It was a few mags on his right side, his left side, and a few mags on his right side on the cummerbund, and then 3 on the front, and then his belt kit."
Yeah.
And we were talking about just sort of positioning. I said, okay, so you know, how well do you get to those magazines? So I actually find it really difficult. I was like, well, you know, it kind of speaks for itself. And essentially what it was, if you imagine how high your cummerbund is, you know, say it's this high, and then you've got a mag on top of it, sticks out a few inches. It's a very difficult movement to, I can't get my arm up like dead straight that way. So he's kind of pulling at this weird angle. And that, as soon as you start pulling those magazines, as you know, out at a funny angle, they just get loads of friction. And they just makes them really difficult to come out. If you pull them straight up, they fly out. If you pull them out at an angle, it's difficult. It's basic stuff. And, you know, I said to him, you know, in the time that you need to get to that magazine, are you going to be able to? And he said, I'm not sure. And I said, well, if you cannot get to it with ease in you know, in a normal situation, trying to get to it in angst, or when you've got rounds coming at you, you've got no hope. And we saw a lot of positioning with dump pouches, with pistols, with pistol alignment and kit alignment, where, you know, you've got your pistol on your hip and you've got a mag pouch right over the top, and they sit out from your body, but they sit out about the same periods. You've just got that, you know, top and bottom clash. So I think a lot of what we covered was basic positioning, and these guys have been playing for just as long as I have, but they just haven't had the space to really focus on that level of that kit and that placement. I think what we provide is that space, is that time, is that point of reference. And I don't think anyone throughout the whole day left without either changing something, changing positioning, or giving them something new to think about. Like the positioning was down, but just that sling movement, sling placement, comms placement, and all the rest just gave them something else to consider. So
yeah, I mean, a wise man once said, you know, airsoft is only played on a Sunday, and that's it, right? Which means for most guys, they'll literally unpack their kit on Friday or Saturday, charge some batteries, pack it all in a bag. They'll go shoot. They'll put it on the Sunday morning at the site. Then Sunday afternoon they'll pack it all away. And that's it, done with. So people, like you just said, people never really have the platform or the arena to, you know, to find those flaws, because they never get. When you're out and you're playing airsoft, you're too busy trying to not get shot or get the objective or get the kills, whatever it may be you want to do on that skirmish day. People aren't thinking about, well, that doesn't work. because they're too busy focused on trying to win. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever it is the objective is for the day. So, like I say, you know, airsoft is only for Sundays. Once they pack their kit away at the end of the Sunday, that's it. They forget about it till next time. And the problems they inherently have on that day will reoccur and reoccur and reoccur. You know, they'll never stop and think, oh, that's pissing me off enough to do something about that. Do you know what I mean? With its kit placement, with its stuff falling out or whatever. Yeah. So I think it was good that guys was able to do it with like I say, no cameras, no judgment. You know, like we said, it's an open forum where guys can talk amongst themselves. You know, what do you do with this? Where do you put this mag pouch? Blah blah. You know, and the perfect example was today. I think I put a post up from me back at Carewent about 3 odd years ago, and I run my blue force gear mags upside down
on the front. Yeah, so
is that the reason what you're saying? Because I couldn't get to this on the side, so I run them upside down. And someone's like, well, oh, how many mags do you lose that day? None, because I tried it, I tested it. Do you know what I mean? I went to a few skirmish days with that system on to make sure there wasn't going to fall out before a big Milsim. So, yeah, it really is about trial and error, mate, and hopefully more trial and success and error.
Yeah, again, Matt, you know, I must admit, I'm partial to the type of audience we had. I was really, really happy and blown away by the speed of which people pick stuff up.
Yeah.
Me and you was down there, and we probably progressed a bit slower, and I think that was because it was just me and you, and we pushed really hard. Like, you know, there was guys, you know, 20 guys doing the shuttle runs, for example, and then there was me and you doing the shuttle runs. We probably done
rotations
a lot more than they did because they get a bit of downtime. So we did push, but they just picked it up really quick. I think anyone now that speaks to that team about reevaluating the basics, or you know, we don't need to do the basics, which we've heard. I think if you spoke to anyone that went to that session, would realise that there's more to the basics than the basics, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Like I say, people set their kit up, and you know, not hope for the best, but you know, people don't normally. Maybe it's just me and you, mate, but people don't normally analyze kit as much as we do. You know, I find we're really pernickety about, you know, what it is, where it is, does it work, does it, you know, do exactly what it's supposed to do. If it doesn't, why not, you know, and get rid of it. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, you know, yes, it's a double-edged sword, mate. You know, obviously we would love to get some media out there about the event, and you know, show people what we're about and what we're doing. And obviously, you know, we have to do these chats and, like you said, sharing some of the feedback to get this message out there. But you know what? I'd rather this way than, like I say, put any footage up or any pictures of people running drills. Because the minute you do that, mate, I think, you know, is it JJ, or I think it might have been JJ? Yeah, just said
JJ,
hit the nail on the head, mate, in the fact that the minute you have cameras involved, mate, people are more focused on, you know, looking good for the camera than they are actually running the drill, which is what we said at the very start of the day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was probably our opening line.
Because it's the first thing that people ask, you know, what have you got to hide? I think that was one of the comments previously, and we said we don't want media and don't want cameras there.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not ashamed of what we're doing, right? You know, and it's not anything that is, you know, categorically mind-blowing or differentiating for other training that's out there. Other people are using the same techniques. The reason we're not having cameras involved is because, you know, people go, oh, but I want to watch back what I've been doing. Fine, right? That approach I totally get. There's lots of people that do that throughout different disciplines, gymnasts, swimmers, whatever, right? Basketball players, baseball, all of them, right? They film and then they can analyze and critique. What we have at our site is not a solo experience. There is a lot of people doing a lot of different things, and you could have quite easily put a bit of trumpet music on and cut that video to make a lot of people look fucking stupid without being mean. And it wasn't down to anyone's fault, and no one did anything wrong, or no one, you know, was doing anything silly or asked anything silly at the time. But dropping kit and bits coming off and placement and you know, missed shots and stuff like that was apparent throughout the whole day for everyone, right? And I just wouldn't want someone to be shown in the wrong light when what they're actually doing is trying to progress themselves. And then you've got, you know, some keyboard warrior, you know, basement dweller sat there going, oh, I wouldn't have this there. Well, you can't shoot like that. You can't do, you know, it's just too easy to do.
Yeah.
And so we've alleviated all of that. We've had some really positive feedback, and all of the feedback that I've had now in the last couple of days of, oh, I tried that drill and this is beginning to get a bit slicker. And, you know, some of the things that Richie's technique, I'm not going to talk about what it is, but a bit of a technique that Richie has that he spoke to everyone about, I've started now, began to do it naturally. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, that's where he got to it. You know, that's why he does it, because he just got to that point naturally. So, you know, people are now beginning to progress in their own time. And for the small investment they've had with us, we've now begun to get the little sort of snowball rolling. And they'll probably become like OCD obsessed like me and Richie are. But it was a very, very good day for getting people on the bandwagon and getting them beginning to really think not just what looks Gucci and putting all your cool kit on the front of your plate carrier, but actually functionally what works, what you can strip back, what you can combine, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I think it's really about, you know, people, you know, coming to our event, you know, us giving them perhaps some different points of view, like obviously, you know, just thinking a bit sometimes out the box, or just giving them, you know, stuff they haven't ever thought about. Obviously, it was great. It was only sort of like a just over a morning till sort of, you know, sort of 2 o'clock.
Like half a syllabus, wasn't it?
Half a syllabus, yeah, I'd say, because we did, and you know, we did have to change some things on the fly, but it's what it is. But it's about them then having that information up here. Now they've got two choices. Once they've done that, they can either go away and go, oh, that was awesome, that's really great, and continue as they are, or they can take it on board, go away, and like you've just said, people, you know, start drilling, you know, in your bedroom on a Sunday or whatever, just, I don't know, in the shower, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just start practicing your sidearm drills and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Transitions and and you'll find the guys that want to do it will do it.
So I'm just, because I'm really happy that we've sort of covered that off, I just wanted to go through some of the comments. If there's anything that jumps out to you, Richie, please feel free to.
Yeah, I'm just going to scan through them, mate.
Bounce in. So we've got a few things. I'm going to start right at the top.
Yeah.
JJ, Tim finally back to the AR platform master race. I don't think so, bro. Look, if you just look, I just spin round which one's closest to me and which one's furthest away. You know, it's subliminal at this point. I don't know if I should get a Wii Scar and upgrade it, or just get Tokyo Marui, get the Tokyo Marui. I know a few people have got Wii Scars and VFCs, and unless you completely pimp up the VFC, you may have some problems with it. If you don't believe me, speak to Airsoft Caroline. I was talking to her the other day about her VFC Scar. She's only used it once. It's completely broken.
Really?
So she said, "Oh, should I just chip it and get a TM?" So there you go. And she's just uses it for posting, you know, some pictures.
Brander, this is the TM gas blowback version.
No AGs here, bro.
Yeah, mate. Basically, like I say, a direct replacement of the one I had originally that just sort of wore out. So, yeah, mate. Not obviously nice bolt function. Mags are pretty damn heavy, but going with a nice. Oh, that crisp, mate. It's a thing of beauty. Yeah, can't wait to use that.
Opinions on the ICS? Well, you said ICS, so just no, just throw it in the bin. Get a Tokyo Marui.
Yeah.
And also for the fact that ICS didn't even talk to us when we were stood on their stand. They would have got more publicity out of us than they have anyone.
There was only me and you on the stand, wasn't there? There was no one else. They didn't even bother to come over.
Yeah, sat down on their phones looking at anime porn. Anyway, you had the right lads there. Beefy, yes. Hi, Beefy. What's going on, dude? Yeah, I think we definitely did have the right lads there, and we are looking also to expand that out. Someone was asking, are they going to be sort of continuous? If you didn't do the first one, you won't be able to do the second. Me and Richie have spoke about this, and what we'll try and do is probably push most of people through the first part purely so you get used to our event. It's not really about skill at this point. It's just about understanding our process and the way that we ramp things up, because the day ramps. We don't just throw people into stupid stuff at the beginning to try and catch people out. We started off very granular on like a 2-step process, and by the end of the day we were doing like an 8-step process. So it's about building throughout the day. We would advise you come and do 1 before you come and do the night vision, or you do module 2, which is on the books, right? I mean,
I think so, mate. And again, obviously, if you imagine we kind of not dull the day down, but we kind of sort of shorten the day. It was several things here. It was our first event, so we didn't want to overcomplicate it. So we kind of dumbed it down a little bit, kept it kind of simple. We didn't want to go into too much advanced techniques. Plus, obviously, we wanted to break about sort of 1, half 1, 2 o'clock. Because that's when we was going to have the sort of beers and barbecue sort of chill time, which I thought was awesome. The first one we wanted to be super relaxed, and I think we nailed that. So I think syllabus 2 is on the cards, mate. It's just a case of between me and you, Tim, we need to work out how we're gonna progress on from that. Because obviously, like you said, we want to get guys through the first one, and so we won't. Unless there's an absolute, when we start to push on to syllabus 2, unless there's absolute screaming demand for the first one, we'll just progress on. But we'll try and get lots of people through it if we can. Yeah,
and I think a lot of people really benefit from the first one. Another question, lots of people in the chat that were at the event. So Nomad, thanks, dude. Brad was worth the 3-hour drive. Thanks, dude. We really appreciate that. Bakes, what's up, my boy? Filming courses is super bad from JJ. Yeah, totally agree. Tim, how do you run your comms on the micro, the TMC micro? The last time I ran it out, I ran a speaker mic, fist mic thing. I hated it. I wasn't too much of a fan because I only had one earpiece in, and I like to have my ears protected now at all times. So that's why I do like the having the rake-outs in. But when I run the micro now, I'll be using my Silynx Claris Pros, so they're like dual in-ears with a little PTT. That's what I'll be running. So yeah, that's on the comms. If you look through my photos on Instagram, there's a picture of it all set up. Agreed. Mags on your gun dominant side never made sense for accessibility. Yeah, exactly. It just gets in the way of your pistol. Michael, gutted I missed the black event. I know, dude. We had a few people that missed out sadly on the day, but we will be doing more. So just keep an eye out. Richie's media, my media. Definitely keep an eye out. Richie, anymore? You can take any door and pretend to clear just for muscle memory. Yeah, but barrel alignment on door frames is something you can practice in your house. And once you've got it nailed, you kind of pivot around the door frame. It's taught one of those routines is taught by Cherries, and essentially you just put the muzzle of the door on the frame and you kind of peel round and use that to bring your gun round, and it means that you're kind of nicely tucked behind the weapon and you kind of use it to lean around the door frame. It means that you're not exposing too much of your body. If you are on YouTube, which you are watching this, once you finish watching this, go and check out Cherry's CQB. It's taught by, I think it's an ex-Israeli special forces guy, and it's about 40 minutes long. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, but room clearing, mate, it's just a bucket of worms. You know what I mean? Because it really is. There's so many techniques for doing it. So many.
Yeah, and I think
there's clearing it externally. Hard entry, like you said, there's pie in the door, or there's ways that you can actually come up and actually come once we're happy, clear what you can clear, wherever your blind spot is, you can come in like I like to do, and then punch your rifle out into it. But yeah, just do your research, lads. Have you liking the Vortex, Huey? Absolutely love it to bits. it's one of them things that you just, that the more you look at it, the more you use it, the more I actually love it. It's incredible. When it first came out, obviously there was a lot of haters because of the shape and size of it. Anyone who's watched my video about Vortex versus clones will know that this is actually almost identical size to a 5.52. But yeah, absolutely love it. Optic for life.
Dragar, probably without being biased, my favourite person on the day from the training, to be fair.
Not being biased.
Well, you know, I think everyone there performed well. I think Dragar probably had the steepest curve that I observed on the day.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want that to be embarrassing or anything, but I just that's just what I think. I think there were some lads there that were doing well from the beginning, but from a curve perspective, I think Dragar was just. I just stood by the board and not, you know, we don't give away what people were doing and whatever, but just watching him get to that board, put the rounds down and move away, and I was like, fuck, just nailing shots, very clean. And then when we brought out the diamonds, it's not going to make any sense to anyone, but the guys that were there, when we brought the diamonds out, watching him, you know, really get accurate shots on target very, very quickly, was very, very impressed. Very impressed. Definitely not easy to do, especially not on that side as well. So,
yeah,
really impressive.
Jonas S, how hard is it to come from outside the UK to those events? Piece of cake, really, mate. I mean, depending where you're coming from, you know, gun in a gun box in the hold, you know, if you're flying, really just travel, really do to the UK. As far as our event's concerned, just sign up with everyone else and get
over. We had Jamie come over from Italy. He stayed in a hotel not too far from the site, flew over in the morning, come from the airport with Beefy, straight down to the event, was there for the day and then flew back the following day. I don't think it was too much of a hardship. I know Jamie has some issues with the flight, but you know, that can happen. Did I pick up a new sidearm? No, but me and Richie were discussing this last night, and I definitely need to get one.
Yeah, you've got your eyes on a few, haven't you?
Yeah, I want to go to camo really and hang out with camo for the day and just try all the pistols, just sizing wise for my hands. I've not got the biggest hands, so you know I don't want anything that is too bulky, but I just want something slick. I feel like, you know, looking at your 19 and looking at some of the other pistols that guys were using, even the 26, I just want something that's more compact. I feel like I'm running around with an MP7 on my hip, you know. So the decision's definitely made. If anyone wants a TAC 45, let me know.
Yeah, epic. I mean, that being said, mate, I think I showed you the video. I cannot wait to get mine back from Kydex Customs. So you show me the video of the holsters all done.
It looks lush, and also, you know, with the RMR and, you know, the Surefire on it and stuff, it just is a very, very, you know, accessible weapon to use at all times. You know, the RMR on top just gives you that clarity and that quicker sight acquisition. And
the thing is, mate, is you know, obviously I showed you a quick range test that I did with it. Obviously, not going into too much detail because I want to do a full review on it, but it's a WE19. Fully upgraded by Sniper Mechanics. This thing punched out what was it, a 3.2?
Yeah.
0.32 round. I clocked it at 66 meters, I think it was. Absolutely insane. So I can't wait to actually, like we said, mate, get to our site and actually range find some distances and just see what that thing's doing.
Just going to have a look at some of these. Just ordered my TAC 45. That's a shame. 1 week to care went. Trojan, Rag, and Cold Spear all running together. Those boys are about to get clipped up by me and Richie half cut.
Yep.
Richie Gilmore, mate, if you're interested, give me a shout. I've got TAC. It's got some mods done to it and free mags. Okay. Anyway, what's the logistics like from JJ? We are, Richie, now we're in 20 minutes from the airport.
Yeah, so if you fly into Gatwick, we are an hour and 20 minutes. Plenty of hotels around, like Jamie did. Obviously, clearly, if you did come over, JJ, you'd have to do what me and Jamie did. Head into town after the event and get absolutely blitzkrieged. I think we stopped drinking regular drinks. I think we were just doing shots from, I don't know where it took, from 2 o'clock onwards. We were just doing tequila and Jaeger bombs. That was it. There was no regular drinks. So
yeah, JJ, you can stay within 5 minutes of the site if you want to, or the alternative, you could head back up towards the airport if you wanted to have an early squirt on Sunday. So you could come down to the site, stay at the site, then stay near the airport that night, and then, you know, literally just, you know, walk from the Hilton. There's a Radisson, there's loads of other hotels around Gatwick, and then just bounce to the airport in the morning. That would be my suggestion. You know, throw your gear in a pelly and bounce over. It's no problem.
This does mean that we will have to go back over to see JJ and do some real steel shooting with him.
Yeah, like you just said, I'm Slav. My body is 70% booze. That and Adidas tracksuits. Yeah, so I mean, the next thing I've seen a few people sort of asking what the next things are, and you know, the big one for us is definitely nods, and giving guys a space with nods. We don't want to go into, well, Richie, it's up to you. I mean, don't want to go into what we're going to cover, but if you've got night vision, it's going to be an event that's an absolute must.
I mean, we've got obviously we've got a kind of syllabus in draft, I'd say, for the MV event. Obviously, we won't go into exactly what it is, but it will cover no light and low light, you know, and that's everything that encompasses that. That's using the night vision device and using your weapons platform with the night vision device. Now, Tom made a really good point. He said, you know, I've only got a Gen 1 Plus. You know, will that stop me from coming? Absolutely not. You know, this is one thing we want to nip in the bud. We're not elitist in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, if your night vision device, and this is not aimed at Tom, is, or say like a digital one, you know, that you struggle to see anything with, you will struggle at our event. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's like anything. You can only do so much with the equipment you've got, you know. But that being said, we are going to cater to everything, you know, that's involved around that. Whether you've got a low end or high end, it doesn't matter. You know, our sort of syllabus should cover a wide range, and we'll obviously point you in the direction of how to adapt to what you're running.
Yeah, perfect. So, you know, that's another thing. And also, you know, guys that have got nods, especially got new nods. I was talking to Brooksy about this. You know, he's got his nods. The last thing he wants to do is the first time he's wearing them, he's about to go out against Cold Spear, right? Just for example, right? That's a bad day out, by any means. And I don't mean that, you know, just picking on Flez and all these boys, but they're guys that have been running nods for a good amount of time. And I spoke to them when they expected us to have a little tear up, and we actually didn't end up crossing paths. And these guys had tied loads of brass to the ceiling and had them dangling to hit people's nods. They had, you know, hung stuff above the stairs, bits of materials, t-shirts, stuff like that, just to mess with your nods. So you're walking along, got your platform up, and all of a sudden, you know, this t-shirt drapes in front of one of your nods, and you can't see anything. Your arms are then off your platform to clear your night vision or whatever. So they had done lots and lots of stuff just to catch you out, because they knew the lads were going to be rolling into their building with night vision on. Clever, non-dangerous, you know, just they'd done some stuff like that. So the last thing I'd want for Brooksy is to roll out with his lads. I know it's not going to happen because they're running on the same side, but for example, run out for the first time with his nods on and go up against them lads CQB. I'm, you know, just being straight, you're going to get scorched. And I don't want that for him. So it would be really good for guys that are new, or even if you've had your NV for a while, to actually come to our event and you're probably going to get, with if we do it within the next few months with the amount of light, you're probably going to get 5 hours under nods, roughly, which is a long time, especially if you're using nods to the night vision. You'll probably do an hour or so and get a bit of green eye headache.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And I think this is a thing where obviously, you know, guys that perhaps are new to nods will find their flaws. You know, I remember many years ago, we run out. I was running PVS 7s at the time. That's how long ago it was. And this lad, who I know very well, top bloke, he got hold of a PVS 14, and I mean a nice one, mate. It was similar to yours, you know, crisp, bright. It was lovely. And literally, he wore it for about 30 minutes. Hated it, absolutely hated it, mate, because it was so, like, he wasn't used to it.
Yeah,
it was like weirding him out, giving him a headache.
Yeah,
mate, I think within 3 weeks he sold it.
Yeah, green eye headache, mate.
Yeah, just couldn't get on with it.
It's a fact. And
so
also,
yeah, it's kind of a again, you know, it's the age-old thing of, you know, people never have the chance or don't normally take the time out to try kit, test kit, you know, get hours behind the kit that you're using. They just sort of throw it on and go for it. So
yeah, I agree, Matt. I remember the first time, and I only had the Spark Core. First time I wore it, I had this big bulky lid on, big counterweight in the back, too much weight, and it sat over my eye. And all of a sudden, when you were stalking around Stanter, we hit that backfield. It was dark, for me anyway. And one eye can't see anything, and the other one, it feels like someone's got a green torch and is just shining it into my eye.
Yeah.
And my brain is trying to mesh the two images together. This pupil is like tiny. This pupil's massive. My brain was just scrambling, and like for the first time in I think I was like, what, 27?
Yeah.
Something like that. First time in like 27 years. One eye has got light and a picture going into it. The other eye can't see shit. My brain just scrambled. I had such a headache. And it just gets used to it over time.
Yeah.
And the more time you spend under the nods, the easier it gets. And now my nods go down and my whole brain just kind of blurs this kind of greeny image together.
I mean, if you remember back to, I think it was Grey Slate, mate. I can't remember which one it was. Might be number 2. But do you remember he was on that back berm, that long berm? We crept up. Anyway, they sent a patrol out, and they sort of saw us.
Yeah.
And
we went to the woods.
I'm running, mate. I'm hoofing. And you're like, where's Richie gone? And I was like, I was running, mate. And like, how can you run in nods?
Yeah.
But it's just you. Over time, mate, you get used to the depth perception, your foot placement, everything. Do you know what I mean?
We were sprinting across
yeah, it was when it was like that.
Like a point.
Yeah.
Down one side is really steep and loads of woods. And Richie just like, we'd seen this white light come on. We were like, let's go. I turned around and Richie was like full sprint. Never seen someone as old as you move that fast, Richie.
Yeah, I know. It only happens when there's hookers or chocolate involved.
Like that, we're about to get clapped up by a team. So yeah, obviously we've done a lot of content on night vision, but yeah, if you've got night vision, you're interested, keep an eye on what we're doing. That will probably be the next session, and then we'll do another closed doors module 1. I think we've got enough people to fill a few of them, to be honest. We've had a lot of interest.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so.
Just having a look through some of these comments. Jamie Brick, G26. Yeah, it's on the cards. I'm going to check them out. Best PEC with IR laser on the market. It depends how much you want to spend. So
yeah, how much you want to spend and how much rail estate you've got in your gun.
Yeah. So I'll start at the top and then we'll work down, Richie. So you can do about 1,500 quid on a Apital PEC 15 or L3 or whoever was branding them out at the time. They're probably going to be about 30 of hand and they've come through Europe, but you can get them for about 1,500 quid. Then what? PEC 2?
Then you're looking at one of these. PEC 2. Obviously, if you look at the size of it, it's quite a chunky unit. It is quite large. But obviously you've got IR illuminator, IR laser. Now, if you listen to this, oh, you can't really hear it. But each windage and elevation, because obviously this is real steel. This is not a clone. You've got flood and spot on your illuminator as well, so you can get it down to a little point or massive, great big, wide back cool sized beam. These go from anywhere between sort of 500 and 700, depending on the condition. But as you can say, it takes up a lot of space. You know, if I offer this up to my MP7,
poor MP7,
so you can see, it's really, you're going to struggle to get that and a red dot sight on there. Do you know what I mean?
Is it twice the length of a?
It's almost twice the length, mate. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be wrong. I have stripped everything off the MP7 before and run just that on the MP7. But yeah, so that's obviously probably your next option for a real steel one. Other than that, then you then start coming down to the clones, I guess.
Yeah, then you get the rainproof eBay clone, what Big Ben had, which is like 500-600 quid, and essentially the guy gets one of these, and he strips it out, he co-aligns the lasers, and then he fills it with epoxy resin.
Yeah.
You can buy them on eBay. If you put in PEC 15 on eBay, it's the top one. It's like €700 or something like that. Coming down from that, you've got probably the 419,
yes,
which is about 70 quid.
D-Bow is probably about the same, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, D-Bow. Yeah, if you can get hold of a D-Bow, GMP D-Bow, they're about 100.
They sort of 120.
They're more. They've gone up. Yeah, so about 140, 150 quid if you can find one. Yeah. I ran one, they're good. The only thing you have to be careful of is there's like a little screw cap on the lens. And if it comes loose, they're a goner. They're very difficult to dial back in. I managed to get mine back down to a point, and it stayed there for about half a game, and then it lost its zero. At the very bottom of the pack, something I would recommend to everyone is this. This is the Element 419. You can search it on AliExpress or anywhere like that. I've modded mine. I filled this with foam and I dremeled down the adjusters so that you get a decent zero on it. It's been very, very, very good. Richie, it's been all right, isn't it? I mean, accuracy-wise for a clone.
I mean, mate, I've seen you clap people with that, like on the foot and on the heel with that thing, mate. So, yeah. It's pretty good.
It just, I mean, the other thing is dialing it in. If you want to just point it at something, put some shots out and expect it to be dialed in, it's never going to happen.
No.
But if you spend like an afternoon or evening with a big white bit of paper and you draw a spot in the middle of it, or you put an IR bit of square paper on the paper and you dial it in and then shoot again, dial it in, shoot again, dial it in, you can get them really good. And then any lower than that, it's not worth it. Someone said about Hollow Sun. Yeah, Hollow Sun, if you can get hold of them, do some good lasers for some good prices. Me and Richie were talking to them last week or the week before. And they don't do any IR stuff to the UK, sadly. Yeah, otherwise we'd have whipped a few of them up.
Yeah, definitely.
GMP
mate.
Black 125, FD 160. Yeah, there you go. Black Emerald Tactical. Thanks, dude.
I was out for the D-Bow, yeah?
Yeah.
160 plus.
Yeah, I paid for my black one back in the day 70 quid from Red Wolf.
They've really gone up.
Yeah, they have. Hollow Sun lasers are decent. JJ, if you can get hold of any.
Yeah.
Nods rental a thing anymore? No. Ross Martin.
No.
Rob tried doing it for a little while with the CAG events. And it just went under, and then he tried flipping them all. From what I remember, Rob from Voodoo. No, you can't really rent them. Yeah, Scots Country are really good. As much as we don't deal with them very much anymore, if you're going to get nods in the UK, they're the best place to go to, realistically. And the team there is good. The team there is good, for their product support and stuff. I mean, when me and Richie went up there, I think they were doing 50 calls a week in regards to customer service. And so fair play to them.
Yeah. Mike Marden, the same 160 from Ficeful. Damn. That's expensive, mate, isn't it?
JJ just said, check out Armour Mat. Me and Richie know the owners of Armour Mat. So if they do Holosons, maybe they can hook us up.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a GMP not as prominent these days. Many of their bomb-proof Mark 46 2020 based countries.
Bakes, if you go on eBay and put in PEC 15, something like that, or Apatow, it's if you do it sort by price, it comes up at the very top, and it's a picture of a PEC 15 on a rock, and there's loads of rain coming down over it, and it's that one.
Yeah.
Have a look at it.
I mean, funny enough, like Black Emerald Tactical was saying about GMP. Obviously, we were discussing earlier on with Tim about Mark 46s, and that's the exact reason, mate, why I will not sell this one. Because obviously this is GMP, and like the guys said, mate, it's literally built like an absolute tank.
Yeah,
absolute tank. And you know, when we done the DAG event over at Plantation, mate, this thing was just killing it, absolutely killing it.
And the range on that thing was also insane, absolutely insane.
So, because I think we were discussing, although you know, TM are coming out with their Mark 46 at some point, I still think you'd have to go a long way to beat this, I think.
Jamie, can you have a look for me and look for two? I think it's the Q113, something like that. Q113. It looks like a D-bow, and it's got IR illuminator and IR laser on it. They come with a little push tail, and they're a bit bigger than a matchbox. Can you just see if you can get me some, and then I'll sort you out. Get one for me and Richie each, and we'll get them.
Yeah.
Richard Gilmore, what's the issue with TAC, Tim? My TAC 45. I just think it's too big.
Just too big, isn't it? I think
it feels like a Mark 23. It just feels a bit bulky. I wasn't saying a bit smaller, a bit slick. But yeah, I've got a TAC 45 in the box. It's all upgraded and a load of mags. If anyone wants it, just DM me. LL117. Yeah, I think it might be LL117G, something like that. It's the new one. Is the NAX Black event module how to defend a bus? Bang Bus 2. Do you know what? I think the next module for us, the NODS one, I think will really catch a lot of people off guard in regards of, even if you're experienced night vision user, come down. Don't expect it to be easy, because me and Richie done some of the training that we'll cover that night, and some of it's very, very tough. It's tough during the day, let alone at night with nods on. And we won't say any more than that.
Just going off the back of Tim's TAC 45 post, I don't know if you can see it or not. I have the fully upgraded Scar L AEG for sale here, and those of you that remember my VFC upgraded Scar H DMR, that's a DMR. They are both for sale if anyone's interested. I think me and Tim have finally come to realise we have too many guns.
Yeah. So there's 2 Scars are up for sale and a TAC 45. How much of a TAC? I don't know. I have to think about it. Someone just DM me if you want it, and we'll sort it out. You guys going to NAE? No, I'm fucking not.
I'd rather bleach my own face.
I'd rather literally put my foreskin over a pile of ants and just let them chew their way out. How much of the TAC 45? I don't know. Raider, anyone that wants it, just message me on Instagram. We'll sort something out. There's like 10 versions of Holosun laser on the website. Yeah, there's loads, JJ. The new one is like, it looks like it's got 2 batteries in it. It's like 2 cylinders side by side. It's IR illuminator and IR laser. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but if anyone can get them, just let me know and I'll sort you out the wedge. No, I definitely wouldn't do anything like that. I'm really not that interested in the airsoft scene as a whole. That sounds really bad, but I'm just things like NAE, and even when me and Richie did IWA, it's just we went for Enforce TAC. We didn't go for IWA really.
And we walked into a meeting, had the meeting, walked back out, and then on to the next meeting. We like I think at some point, because I don't know whatever the pub is where everyone goes to. We walked into the pub, we didn't even buy a drink, did we? We walked in,
No.
took one look at everyone that was around. It was like, nope.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some Irish bar, it was rank. We walked in there and some bloke was kicking off with some young woman. It smelled like piss. It was rank in there, and we were like, this is not my thing.
Yeah.
Walked past Femme Fatale and everyone from Red Wolf Airsoft and was like, good moves.
At which point I threw up over my own shoes.
Yeah. Began to drown in my own blood. Anyway, okay, I've got shovel hands, so it'll be sweet for me. Yeah, I've not got massive hands, but it's a bit. If you've got big hands, you're a big guy. Tap 45 is perfect. It's got loads of kick. It's got epic range. It's got a pink flamingo in it. It's got tight bore. It's a beast.
So just quickly, mate.
Black Emerald Tactical. There are some cringy influence there. The team's going purely for camping because the airsoft is gash. Yeah, it's just not my thing.
No.
We don't. At the end of the day, like I really appreciate what Sterling do. And maybe I've taken that for granted a little bit over the years, but I really appreciate the type of events they do and the people that they cater to and the way that they put an event together. And there's a few other people out there that put events together well, but just not to the caliber of Sterling. And anything else, I'm not really that interested. What does massively take my interest is drills, because you can go to the quarry like I have with Richie, and the only thing that determines how well your day goes is your own performance. And you can go to a skirmish day and put 100% in and blitz up someone that won't call their hit or won't take their hit. People piping off, people getting salty in the afternoons, the game's going to shit and no one really caring about objectives. No matter what you put in, it can be ruined by other people. When you're training, the only thing that can let you down is you.
Yeah.
Or maybe the equipment in some cases, but I've never had that. But
yeah, but that's the idea of the training is to train to failure. That's literally it, isn't it? That's the point. Yeah.
And so I
just want to cover over, mate, this helmet bridge from Agilite Tactical real quick.
So nice.
So obviously the guys over at Agilite sent us the helmet bridge, which is basically a counterweight pouch, or should I say a battery pack storage pouch, which I've got my battery pack in there. You have battery compartments here and here, elastic loops in here, which obviously you can put your comms cables when not using it. Obviously coming up, you have elastic. So basically it's like, imagine like a giant mohawk, right? So it comes up over the top here, all Velcro to the front there, right? Then you have this elastic that weaves the whole way through the helmet bridge and ties down at the back. So you can ratchet this right down and secure everything you need. So obviously, yeah, you can use it for securing all your cables, etc., tying all your cables for your MV, comms, etc. If you run like a night vision recording device, that as well. But I saw some pictures of the Mohawk today, because the thing I love the contour, the Roam 2 that I'm running at the moment, but it always sits off on the side here.
Yeah.
And I always find that when you're running or moving about, it just tends to flop and move about. It just sticks out quite a way. So I mounted it on the top, and obviously you can just see the elastic here.
Nice, yeah.
With this little toggle. So these toggles you can move up and down. So you can move it to, secure it as any way you like, which I thought was an awesome little touch. So you can either run it as a Mohawk like this, sort of down the whole lid. It also comes with 2 sets of wings, different sizes, depending on how big the lid is. And when I say wings, so you have basically a elastic strap that runs through the center of the centerpiece with positive and negative Velcro that attach to your already Velcro on the side of your lid. So they basically ratchet down and hold everything in place. Actually incredible bit of kit, mate. Obviously we'll be doing a full review on that, but I just love it, mate, how it tidies everything down. There's no loose cables. Obviously that now has minimal movement on it. Yes, absolutely epic, mate.
Do you know what I do like as well? That rubberized back, just
Yeah.
that back panel, just makes it look so neat. I mean, I haven't got my lid to hand, but just like I say, there's a few lads saying about the TNVC and the Emerson copies, all the others. They're nice, but they've just got flapping material at the back, and if you're not running an Anvis pack in the back, you have to pack it out with some decent looking counterweights. Otherwise, you've just got these floppy bits of material at the back. At least with that, you've got that patch
The good thing about
space.
this, mate, is, like I say, you can if you're not running it, obviously that comes up. You can just ratchet that down and collapse the whole lot down to nothing if you want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, obviously, I've got the Agilite patch on there, but that does come off, so you can attach your own patch if you need to, or if you'd like to. But yeah, obviously, full review of that coming. Absolutely cannot wait to run this out. Care when. If that's not your bag, they have just released the full helmet cover for their Team Wendy as well.
Yeah, if you've got
full range of Team Wendy's.
Yeah, if you're running a Team Wendy, the Agilite cover does look super nice.
Yeah.
I know TNVC do one. I think they do a Cry one as well on the TNVC website. But the Agilite one is super nice. And it's easy to get hold of. It's not like getting stuff out of the US.
Mate, like I say, we spoke to Agilite. We confirmed what he was going to send over, and I think from Israel that arrived on my door in about 4 days.
Yeah,
super
nice company. They've got some good kit.
Yeah, and again, guys, if you if you do want to buy anything from their website, Heresy Group 12 gives you a 12% discount over their whole website. So
spend a bit of dough, cover your postage.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're happy with it? Would you get more products from them? Have you looked at more of their products? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Obviously, we're just dipping our toe at the moment. This now, I absolutely love this. So if I was going to, like we spoke about, getting another lid, maybe. If I was to get maybe a black Team Wendy X-Fil or something like that, what I'd probably do is I'd probably switch the helmet bridge here over to the black. I'd probably maybe keep this one here, and then I'd buy maybe the Team Wendy cover from Agilite for like a Team Wendy copy lid. I'd maybe do that. I think. Just
yeah,
the Agilite Team Wendy cover has all the same features as this. You have your bungees, except being here, they run down the side. You still have your battery pack, is all the same features, but just in a full cover.
Yeah, mate. I must admit, I was having a look through some of their products, and I love that K5 plate carrier. I know I've just got one, but it is nice.
Yeah. So like I say, I've underdone about another lid for a while, and I think if I do, I'll definitely get the Agilite cover for it.
Yeah.
Just so then you're not buying a separate battery pack.
Would you go for a black lid next?
Yeah, definitely. And I'd probably rub it down as well, mate, to make it matte black.
Yeah. Yeah, I think after seeing the difference between mine and yours when we had that photo at Defiant, the top of my head looks like it's missing, doesn't it?
Yeah, compared to the rest of us, mate. And if you imagine that flash from the camera was a torch, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you ain't seen it for a thing. So just because I don't want to run over too late, I do want to have a quick talk about the MTR very briefly, and because people don't see me often wielding an M4 platform. So I put a post up today about gas guns, and I got a big amount of feedback to, surprisingly, a lot of guys in the UK that are running gas guns, and I was quite surprised at that because I thought they wouldn't fare particularly well in the winter. I know a lot of the guys were talking about some of the shorter events, so not the sort of things that we do a lot, Richie, where we're kind of potentially on the ground from Friday all the way through. But they are using them, and gas guns are becoming more and more popular, and I think that's because of the realism and things like the breakdown and so on and so forth. But I do like this. I must admit, it is incredibly light for a 16-inch gun. It is super, super light, and really raw when it comes down to the basics. So when you're looking to do, you know, a breakdown of this, the breakdown of it is really, really simple. And essentially, you've got your trigger mechanism in there. You've got your buffer spring. I'll just twist that. That round. And it's really very simply much like, you know, your traditional M4 platform, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got your buffer spring and mechanism in there, and then in the top of here you've got your charging handle and your bolt. I don't want to take the whole thing out; it's covered in grease, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
And the gas when it comes up feeds into your nozzle for the gas at the back, and then you've got your feeding point at the front of the bolt for the BB that carries the BB forward into the chamber, and that's literally it. It really is a very basic setup.
So how many rounds have you put through that yet? Do you think?
I reckon I've put through, when I've managed to load the magazines, about maybe 250 rounds.
Okay. Because the thing that always puts me off gas guns, mate, is it's just the maintenance, mate. The stripping, the cleaning, the greasing. Like, you know, where I'm at right now, I don't have the time for that.
Do you know what? I haven't had to deal with the maintenance side of it yet.
Yeah,
but there's definitely a love-hate with this. Loading the magazines is a nightmare. Anyone that has a gas gun in here, a gas TM, loading the mags is a pain in the ass. Whoever says different is crazy, right? Because an AG mag, you just top load it, and you can literally get one of those winder Odins that I've got, and you can, you know, do 100 round mag or whatever it is in seconds. The TM gas mags have got like a port in the side. You have to put the adapter on and punch BBs into it, and I've just found it really difficult.
Yeah.
It's not like with an AEG, if you've got a MOSFET in it, when the battery gets low, it stops firing. With this, when you're getting low on the mag, it does that, right? And you see the BB just go whack, 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 straight to the ground. And that's a little bit depressing when that happens, because you think, right, I've got to strip the mag out, gas it back up. I might as well bomb it back up at this point, and then, you know, and then that gets the weapon back shooting again. Which is a little bit of a nightmare. It's just, I don't know. And then also going back to the M4 platform, there's just a few things about this that I'm not as keen on. So I was talking about this earlier. This is that half, you know, half fire selector. You can see the back of it's like almost dremeled off sort of thing compared to the full side. And I just, so for example, I can move this around okay, but when I want to run it back, because the half of it's dremeled off, normally I would do it with this finger.
Yeah, you just sort of punch it forward, didn't you?
Right. I can only do it with my thumb this side. So the issue being then is like during that swap, I get it because my thumb will run under it this side, but I can't. I have to. It's awkward, right? It just doesn't feel as natural. Now you have got quite nicely on this the ambi mag.
Yeah.
So you have it on both sides. It just doesn't feel as nice as on the scars. And you've got the ambi bolt release. So you've got it above on here. The issue that you have with it, for me, if the gun is in fire, you have to ride your finger over the top of there to get to this.
Yeah.
And it just fit like, even right now, if I just push down with it, you'll probably be able to see. Look at the markings left of my finger.
Yeah.
Just by running your hand over the top. So if you're going to that a lot and you're using that part of your mag release, for example, if you don't want to drive your hand forward to get to this one, you want to use the one on the right hand side, you're constantly riding over that. And if it's in safe, it's even worse. You can see it's like that. My finger riding over the top. It just, I don't know. I think I'm so lucky with this. So for example, with this, right, I want to go to the mag release. My finger is not riding over anything.
Comes underneath it.
There, right? And for the other side, for example, if I'm shooting lefty, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Nothing is in the way of my finger. It's straight on top with nothing in the way. I'm not having to ride over the fire selector. And the same with the fire selector, right-handed. I can do it either side, top of my thumb, top of my finger, if I want to. Or I can roll it on top. And the same with shooting lefty. I can use my thumb on this back side. I can also roll it back with this finger, right? So I'm so used to not having anything in the way, that narrow grip to be able to get to the mag release and the bolt on this side, that just using the MTR just felt awkward. Didn't feel fluid. So I don't know. Going to an M4 platform after using a scarf for a long time is always a bit clunky because you just get used to how ambidextrous it is.
Yeah. I love M4 platforms, so maybe just give it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, or could just snap it in half and throw it in the bin.
Put the razor on top and just give it to me. Yeah, I know what you mean. Obviously, I've had an M4 platform with a long rail for quite some time. But that being said, it did have ambi fire selectors. So, like I say, when you're there like that, so like I say, if I go safe, semi, auto, you know, I'm just then with the thumb, I'm then going auto, safe, auto, semi, safe. It's all done on this thumb. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you got that, see, when I tend to ride it back, so I pull my hand back and then do it.
Yeah.
So your thumb would be away from this side, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's ambis are weird, but then again, if it's got all the real steel components to it, there are so many components out there, like, you know, bolt, like extended bolt releases, you know, different style of fire selectors. Do you know what I mean? Short, stubby ones, chunky ones.
Did you hear me speaking to Merrick about it?
No.
At the event, as the first thing I said is that I want to change out the fire selector. I want to get rid of that big fat paddle. Yeah. The top on this side for the bolt release, it's got this walloping big paddle. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I don't like it. You know, I'd like something a little bit narrower. I don't know. The one thing I do like is that flat face trigger.
Yes, that is nice. Yeah.
I do like that, and I do love the break of the trigger as well. It's super, super lightweight. Oh, take it off.
Yeah, nice.
That side of it I do like, but I don't know. You know, I stopped using an M4 platform for a reason. I think I've just found it. It just doesn't naturally feel as nice. As a training weapon, this thing's perfect. Anyone that wants to get into training, you know, the TM gas platforms work incredibly well.
Yeah.
If you look at Liku, the guy who went to train with T-Rex Arms, the guys that used nothing but an MWS, he went out there and absolutely scorched it. And, you know, all he'd ever shot was Tokyo Marui gas guns. So, you know, they are close enough for you to be able to perform particularly well with them. Maybe it just needs more time, you know, me to spend more time with it. But
yeah, it could be.
Who knows? You know, at the moment, I think, you know, the Scar is just very, very, very difficult to beat. Very difficult to beat.
Yeah, I think on different areas as well, you know, sort of how it feels, and also more importantly, because you're used to how the Scar performs now. Because you know that is such a accurate and consistent weapon now because of the upgrades. It's you know, are you having it with a bit of a biased opinion? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
No, probably so. It's now a little bit more punchy, a little bit more rangy, a little bit more responsive. Responsive the least, rangy, punchy more. You know, if there's percentages, probably like an extra 30% rangy, punchy, and then an extra maybe 5-10% before, you know, from a sensitivity perspective. You know, I haven't really noticed much on the fire selector putting the gate in, but the trigger is just phenomenal. And then, you know, this has really topped it off now. This razor on top, it's just phenomenal. You know, and obviously we've been talking about this a lot. The only issue it has, you know, it's added a fair amount of weight to the gun, but on one-time zoom, it's just an incredible bit of kit. It really is. And I've just moved a few things around. Probably some of you have noticed I've got the sling mounted halfway up the rail. It's something I want to try out and see how I get on with it. I'm always willing to try different stuff and, move things around. And it's really just to clear the front end space of the gun, to stop the sling from coming off this point so that my hands are a little bit clearer. And during that transition, you can see we spoke about earlier, running my thumb over the top. It just fits so much nicer now. There's less catch up with the sling, but we'll see. I'm gonna probably have a day with you training.
Yeah, I think this is what we said, wasn't it? It'd be nice for us to sort of. We've both made minor adjustments to all our kit. I think we do just need a day, mate, just to run some stuff out, like do some drills, see what's occurring with it all, and see how it fits, really.
Don't get bumps, get carbon, especially if it's ops core. To be honest, my FMA is phenomenal. I don't think I'd bother with an ops core or a Team Wendy for what I paid for my FMA. I'm really, really, really impressed with it. I ran it the other weekend and I didn't even have the chin strap done up, and I had my nods on it, and it just was absolutely so much more comfortable than my Maritime. Magpul style K2 grip on the gat is so nice. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I might put two smalls on rather than a small and a big. So rather than the small front and the big back, I might just run two smalls on here. I do like this. It covers up that bottom rail quite nicely, and just made my hand a little bit flatter to the bottom of the gun rather than using the angled grip that I've run on there for a long time. I've run angled for years. THG maintenance / mod workshop event? No, probably not.
I think anything like that will be done on YouTube, probably, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and perform maintenance and modifications wise, it's all done by Camo Raids.
Yeah.
I will never touch my guns ever again. They will always go there regardless. They're just incredibly good at making good guns and looking after them, so I'd much rather it go there. What's the best NVG shop in EU? I don't know in EU, but in the UK, it is definitely Scott Country. Richie?
Yeah, likewise, mate. I mean, in EU, probably Acting Black, but you probably have to sell a house to buy one from them.
Yeah. You've got to spend 13,000 euros roughly to get a good set of jewels from them. I think, if you're going to spend that amount of money, fine. But if you want to spend less, you can get Gen 2 Plus BDNV from Fleur, the HDIs for about $4,000.
Yeah.
3.8, something like that. You get used to everything. You are just used to the SCAR. I've always used non-ambi selector on my AR-15s. My buddy put an MG style push selector on his AR-15. I hate the thing when I shoot his AR. Yeah, it is. It's creature comforts. And I fell hard in love with the SCAR rail from having other platforms. I fell head over heels for it. The ambi. If it wasn't for how well the SCAR handles ambi shooters, I wouldn't shoot as much left hand as I do.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
And also without Richie giving me loads of shit about not being able to shoot with my left hand. Have you guys had a chance to mess around with the new TM FNX 45? No, I actually wanted to get one, but now everyone's got one. I've not bothered.
Yeah, they're like arseholes, aren't they? Everyone's got one.
They're everywhere. They are cool looking guns. I don't know how well they shoot. I think they're very similar internally to the 1911, whatever it was, the gold match. They're quite similar to that. What's the best, Richie? Best Gen 2 Plus unit on the market? The MVDs or whatever they're called?
It depends, mate. Whether you want. Yeah, I mean, for me, mate, I am biased because I love jewels. So, yeah, I'd say BDMVGs, mate, because the jewels, the tubes are really bright, and yes, there are other ways to get good quality MV, but it's pretty much the ways you can get them are illegal, and unless you want to knock on the door, Gen 2 Plus, fully legal unit. You can travel with them, do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
But the bodies are rock solid.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, and for the price, mate, compared to what you get from Acting Black, definitely, I think.
Yeah, if you're after a mono, I mean, I probably haven't spent enough time under jewels to say I don't like them, but I definitely didn't get on with them. That was for sure.
Yeah.
If I ran with Richie's for a long period of time, would I prefer him? I don't know yet. It's definitely an option, right? But I do like a mono. I don't know what it is. I just do like a mono. Maybe it's like I say because it's what I'm used to. But
Yeah.
me and Richie have operated really well, you know, by being able to have me on mono and him on duals in real low light conditions. He's been wicked, and then some of the higher light conditions, I've been able to just get my eyes on target. So I don't know. I think it's an easy way up. But if I could get a really smoking hot set of Gen 3 duals, then yeah. But I'm just not willing to pay whatever it is, 14,000 euros or 16,000 euros to act in black.
No.
2 Cobra Demons on a bridge mount. Charlie, for that money that you're going to spend, which is like 1,200 on each, to get a really good bridge mount, one with like flip up and all that sort of thing, Matt paid 700.
Yeah, those dual bridge mounts go for about 700, mate. They're pricey.
The Wilcox one.
Pricey. I heard FMA were doing a clone of it, but don't know.
I just think for the grief, I would save and get the Fleurs, and
Fleurs now anyway. So
yeah.
Right,
mate. I would go for the Fleur.
And anything else you want to cover before we wrap up? It's just approaching 7 o'clock.
No, I think the rest of it we'll cover in. I want to do more content on YouTube. If anyone's interested, I guess, in any of the events, whether that's a basic training, we call it basic, but it's definitely not. So like module 1, if you're interested in night vision module, hit me and Richie up on Instagram, or you can, hit us up on YouTube, wherever. Just let us know you're interested, and we'll get you on the list, and we'll start pushing out invites for the dates. We need to define a date. There isn't one yet, but if you're on the list, you're essentially, the way it will work, you'll get an email, and the email will have a date on it. If you want to do it, put deposit down. If you can't do it, don't put a deposit down. If you're not happy with anything that comes over in that email, do not sign up, because you're not going to get your money back, and you're taking up a space at the event that if someone would want, if they agree to it. So if there's anything in that email that you're not happy with, don't come, because we're not going to bend the rules for you as an individual. If you haven't got the right kit, if you're not happy with our rule set, just don't turn up.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it for me, really. What about you, mate? Anything?
No, likewise, mate. Like I say, literally, for me, like, obviously, I flew back this morning, or say today, so it was super nice to spend some time just messing about with my rig, getting some stuff changed on that MP7, just tweaking some parts on that. Super happy with how I got the bridge from Agilite Tactical set up now. I think this, for me, mate, that's the first time I've got the Contour to sit and run where I'm actually genuinely happy with it. So yeah, on that, mate, I think it's literally full steam ahead for Kerwent now, I think, mate.
So does this mean we're going to get a Richie special THG montage after Kerwent?
I hope so. Obviously, if there's not that much footage to come out of it, mate, I'm not going to put a video out that's not tag worthy.
Yeah. I think from the role that we've got, I think there will be. Guys, just very, very quickly, we know the chat's quite responsive. If there's any questions you want to ask, please fire them over now. We'll give you a couple of minutes before we bounce. But if you have any questions, fire them over. Do what those guys did a few years ago, steal some equipment from Hereford, from some serious dudes. No, we won't do any stealing from anywhere. It's not our thing. Yes, please, if you're doing what we spoke about, Brad. Yeah, I think Brad, you're on the list already.
Anvis 9s, they are aviation spec tubes. I think. I don't really know where to get them from.
You can get clones online. Of Anvis 9. Clones. They do some really, really good looking clones of Anvis 9, if that's definitely what you're set on. If you're in the US, you can buy them in the US. But other than that, if you're buying in the UK and Europe, then you have to get their TNV, their FMA or whatever it is clone.
Yeah.
They do some really good clones, green lensed clones. I like Korean girls.
What are they named? I've got winner in my book already.
Deciding to get a TM Scar H. There you go.
Nice.
The Hands guy sells lots of NVGs. Oh, they definitely go about, but you just you have to be very careful what you're buying and where you're getting them from and where you can take them.
And obviously just be careful, you know, be careful what the source is. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, obviously there's legal ways to buy MV and non-legal ways. So
also, if any of you know what being catfished means, which I hope you all should by this point, just be very careful when you're buying NVGs that it's not, you know, the police in a trench coat.
I think Armour site was taken over by Fleur, wasn't it, Tim?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Armour site was bought by Fleur about 2 years ago with the idea that they would continue on using the Armour site brand, and Fleur didn't like it, so they've completely been into bleach out the Armour site brand. It will just be all Fleur units from now on, but they're still the same products. They're made in the same factory. They're just owned by Fleur. I think the 160th SAW have used Anvis when doing aviation stuff. I'm not sure.
Viper 1 to 4 is nice. What was the one we had? Was it the Strike Eagle 1 to 6?
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah, Strike Eagle.
Yeah, Strike Eagle 1 to 6. If you've got an SPR upper, yes, mate. Strike Eagle 1 to 6, I'd say is a better option.
Yeah.
It doesn't come down to a 1 times as well as the Razor.
Yeah.
But then you're basically adding another £900 on top of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the clarity of the glass, etc. But you know, you could almost get the Strike Eagle down to like a red dot. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, the Striker was a very, very good optic, and if you set it far enough down the rail, you can really get that like very thin edge. You just don't get as thin of an edge as, you know, as the Razor. The Razor,
that thing is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
And also the adjustment's slightly different, and the reticle is different as well.
Yeah.
And the illumination pattern is different too. On the Razor, they have different turrets. The turrets look like this. So if you can see, the turrets are slightly more granular, and they sit under a different cap, and they're not lift adjusters. They're Allen key adjusters. So you lift the Allen key, you lift it, and then turn it, and then do the Allen key back up. Whereas on the Strike Eagle, they're slightly different adjusters. Okay, what should I get? A Wii Scar and gradually upgrade it, or get a Tokyo Marui? Just don't even bother with a Wii Scar, get a Tokyo Marui and upgrade it.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
What's the minimum amount you recommend on MVG? It's not really about spending a minimum, mate, but there is no such thing as a cheap MV.
If you're looking at just the unit, I'd say about 12 to 1500 quid. It's the cheapest you're going to get one for. But if you really want to know about MVG, me and Richie have a video on the channel. It's about 40 minutes long. It's just about MVGs. Go watch it. It'll give you everything you need to know. So Jack, Daniel Butler, back to the channel, go to the MVG section. There's a video of me and Richie on the sofa having a drink, talking about nods, and we'll take you through everything. But I reckon you're probably looking 18 to 1900 quid when you buy lid, J-arm, mount,
counterweight,
pecs,
laser, torches.
Yeah, goodies.
Yeah, everything to go with that.
There's no point having nods without a decent laser.
Yeah.
Archie Carter TM everything, exactly. Don't buy the Wilcox LG L4G 24. It's crap, mate. Everyone I know runs an L4G 24, but the FMA clone.
Yeah, Brad's one was real. He actually snapped the arm off.
Really?
The locking arm, yeah.
A real one?
About the only bit that's plastic on it, he managed to snap off.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been running my cheap FMA clone with duals, singles, every single I've ever had the chance to use. I ran my duals on it. It's been absolutely bomb proof. I paid like 50 quid for it or something stupid.
Yeah.
Been really good, that unit. No way, Brad. I can't believe that. A legit one. Sure it weren't hooky.
No. Right, guys. I think that's about it. So, yeah.
100 real, 400 quid. Oh my God. I'd have been so pissed off.
Yeah.
Right, Richie, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone who joined. If you are interested in anything we spoke about, Richie's 2 scars that are completely insane builds. If you're interested in the events or anything like that, guys, reach out to us. You know where we are. And if you're interested in NVG module, then hit us up. That will be the next one on the list.
For sure. Right, so guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for all the questions, all the comments, all the feedback. As always, if there's anything else, you know, we spoke about tonight that you've got questions about, just DM Tim or myself, either through the channel or our Instagram accounts, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Nice.
For those of you guys that are attending CareWent, we'll see you in about a week's time.
See you in a week.
Cheers.
Take care, buddy. See you later, bud. Bye, mate. Bye.